Hi, my name is Jill Curry. I'm the Transition Coordinator with Newton Public Schools. Today I'm going to provide you with a brief overview of the age of majority and transfer of rights.
Regardless of their disability, when a student turns 18, they are considered an adult. That means that they are responsible for making the decisions related to their education, including exercising their rights related to their IEP and signing consent forms. This doesn't apply in situations in which a family or a guardian has gone through the formal guardianship process after a student has turned 18 and the courts have appointed them a guardian. In that situation, the guardian is responsible for the decision making. If a family has gone through the guardianship process for a child, they need to provide the school with documentation that they have a court appointed guardian. When a student turns 18, if they have not gone through that process through the courts, again, they are considered an adult and they have a choice related to their educational decision making. This is called the transfer of rights. The student has three choices. They can choose to maintain their decision making and be the sole decision maker. They can choose to share their decision making with an adult that is willing to share that with them, or they can delegate their decision making rights to a willing adult. This slide reviews some of the important things that must happen by age 17 and age 18 as part of the age of majority and transfer of rights process. By age 17, students and families must be alerted about the transfer of rights. This information is provided to students and families through notification letters sent out by Newton Public Schools. The transfer of rights is also often discussed at IEP meetings starting by age 16. By age 18, students and families are again notified about the transfer of rights. When a student turns 18, they must identify their decision-making choice. This is done through a decision-making statement that they sign. Newton Public Schools staff will review the choices with the student. Again, those choices are for the student to maintain their decision-making rights, share their decision-making rights, or delegate their decision-making rights. The student has to indicate their choice on the decision-making statement. This has to happen in front of two witnesses in person, or in our COVID times, virtually. At least one of the witnesses must be a Newton Public Schools employee. I just wanted to highlight a few important things to note as related to age of majority and transfer of rights. Students are able to change their decision that they initially make at any point. So, for example, if a student initially chose to be the sole decision maker, they could change that to shared decision making or delegate that decision making to anyone at any time. It's also important to note that if a student is sharing decision making and has a disagreement with the other person, the student's opinion prevails. So, for example, if a student wants to sign their IEP and the other adult that they're sharing decision making with does not want them to sign their IEP, the student's decision prevails. It's also important to note that if a student chooses sole decision making or shared decision making when they turn 18, at that point, they need to exercise their special education rights related to an active IEP or if it's a newly proposed IEP. So even if the IEP had previously been signed, when they turn 18 and choose to either be the sole decision maker or share decision making, they are the person that is responsible for signing the IEP. This slide provides you a variety of resources to learn more about the age of majority. You can check out the Newton Public Schools Transition website, the section related to age of majority. You can also look at the Department of Secondary Education's website to learn more about age of majority. There's also an advisory that the Department of Secondary Education put out related to age of majority, and there's an informational brochure that is available online related to age of majority. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch.